your Google business listing. And I hope that you're ready to optimize your listings and attract more customers because it is kind of a fun topic. Bear with my fun titles today. I'm trying to be a little bit less boring. And so we've added some stuff in there and I hope that you'll bear with me as we go through that. Again, today we're here to talk about optimizing your Google business listing and making sure that your business is standing out online. I'm your host for today. My name's Jonathan. I've been in the SEO and digital marketing game since since early 1995. That basically makes me an and I've earned all this white hair that you see. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with all about tactics. Instead, I'll be sharing some up to date insights that have literally just changed in the last few months on how to improve your local search engine rankings and make sure your business stands out from the competition. So let's face it, having a complete and accurate Google business listing is like having the perfect wingman. It can help you attract more potential customers and make a great first impression. And who doesn't love a good first impression, right? During this webinar, we'll cover everything you need to know about optimizing your Google business listing. And we're going to talk about how to create a compelling listing description that'll make your competition green with envy. And of course, we'll share some bonus tips and strategies for managing your listing along the way as well. Yeah, I should probably get caught up on my slides. I apologize. Here we go. There we go. So if you haven't already, grab yourself a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's dive in the wonderful world of Google business listing optimization. So first thing I want to talk about why a complete and accurate Google business listing is important. Uh, really, it's all about first impressions. Um, your Google business needs to be on point. You know what they say, and you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And when it comes to potential customers finding your business, your Google business listing is the first thing that they'll see. So let's make sure that, like a superhero cape, it's powerful and unforgettable. So nowadays, people are glued to their mobile phones just like they are to their last slice of pizza in the box. And when they're searching for a local business, you better believe that they're relying on Google business listings like they rely on their cup of coffee in the morning. In fact, a recent study found out that 60% of the people who search for local businesses on their phone visit that business within one day. Think about that. 60% of the people that are researching you likely to either visit or contact you in 24 hours. Got to get back to my notes. Nothing like losing your place. So when people are scrolling through their phone, they want to find that info fast and they want to find it now. If your listing is incomplete or it looks like a maze and is hard to follow, those potential customers are going to leave quickly and they're not going to come back. So let's make sure that your Google listing is the hero in the search results and not the villain. And we're going to do that by optimizing your listing so that you can provide all of your information in easy to read, quick, and easy to decipher way. And let's start by talking about the accuracy of your listing itself. I'm sorry, benefits of a complete and accurate listing. You're probably wondering what with having a complete and accurate listing, right? Well, it's kind of like having a magical unicorn as your business mascot. Having a complete one is actually and it's powerful and it can really be helpful to you. So first of all, I want to talk to you about how having a complete listing is like rolling out the red carpet for your potential customers. They can find all the information they need on your business, just like your address, your phone number, your hours of operation. And instead of making it like some hard to find treasure map, you're making it easy, simple to follow, and easy for them to get your information. So when your listing is complete and accurate, think of it like catnip for Google. If you've ever had a cat and watched them with catnip, they go crazy over it. And Google does the same thing. We're we're playing by Google's rules here, everybody. And if you want your business to do well, following Google's rules and playing their game, it's their sandbox, will really help you do well. And Google wants to make sure that they show off your business to the people who are searching for it, especially when you're cooperating and doing things that Google wants. So think of it an optimized Google business listing. It's kind of like having a secret handshake with Google. And Let's face it, who wouldn't want to do that? So let's do a quick recap. Having a complete and accurate business listing, it's like having a magical unicorn as your business mascot. It's catnip to Google, like I said. It makes it easier for potential customers to find you and increases your visibility in search results. And ultimately, that's what we want. So, lastly, consequences of an incomplete or an inaccurate listing. That's really what happens when your Google business listing is incomplete or inaccurate. It's like showing up at a party in a mismatched outfit. Have you ever had a bad dream about doing that? And you know, Google doesn't want you to do it either. It's not going to work. Like showing up at a party where you miss attention, having an incomplete profile isn't going to get you a lot of attention online. People aren't going to be able to reach you, or worse yet, they might show up at the wrong location, get confused, call the wrong number. So incomplete information, probably the worst thing that you can do. And let's not forget about the impact on your search rankings. So completing your Google profile will help you in your search rankings. When your listing is incomplete or inaccurate, Google is like that friend who's always on the lookout for fake news. It's less likely to show your business in search results, and potential customers might as well be searching for that unicorn riding a unicycle. Um, it's like a game of hide. Your business is the one hiding when you have incomplete information, and that's not good. So you want to avoid that frustration, avoid lost business, and you don't want your business to be like that kid who always got picked on in gym class. Make sure that your Google business listing is complete and accurate. So let's talk a little bit about the role that Google business plays in local SEO. So first, let me define local SEO for those of you that may or may not know what I'm talking about. We're going to get into the nitty gritty of local SEO, and it's I don't like planting a garden, but instead of flowers, we're growing your business. And who doesn't love a good garden party, right? So first of all, local SEO, it's like the secret sauce to attracting more local customers to your business. It's not about appealing to everybody in the state or across the world, but locally in your area. And if your business has a service area that's defined by local, then the local SEO is what you need to be focused on. It okay. Things like optimizing your website for keywords and creating content that's relevant to your local audience and building local backlinks and creating local service pages. That's all great. Kind of like building a gingerbread candy. Here we're going to use SEO things and SEO tactics. So let's talk about the role of Google business listings in all of this, and think of it like a VIP pass to the top of the search rankings. When your Google business listing is complete and accurate, it sends a signal to Google that you're legit and you're ready to rock and roll. It's like having a bouncer wave you in at the bar while the rest of the competition is left waiting in line. And let's face it, that's good for your business. So if you want to make sure your business is the life of the party, make sure your Google business listing is on point and optimized for local SEO. So let's talk about what that looks like. And next is the importance of local SEO for small business. So local SEO is essential for your small business. And if you rely on local customers, that's even more important. In fact, we talked about some of the research earlier, but additional research shows that 46% of all of Google searches are actually for local information. And 78% of that local search is results in an offline purchase. In other words, 78% of those local searches. So if we run those numbers, 46 and 78, 40% of those searches that are done online result in a local purchase being made. That's a lot. And that's a ton of traffic that can come to you. So if you're a local business, maybe a home services business like an electrician, plumber, a landscaper, you know how important it is to be visible and accessible to your potential customers in your local area. And this is where local search fits in. When someone searches for a home service in their area, they're likely to see a map with local listings at the top of the search results. We call that the map pack or the local pack. Um, Being on the local pack changer for your business, as it can greatly increase the chances of getting noticed by your potential customers. You may have noticed before when you do a search, you start off with generally 3 ads at the top and then a map, and then below that are the organic listings. Organic is great, but the map pack, that local pack, it's gold. Really, really want to try to be there. And your Google business listing is one of the best ways to get listed in the map pack. Being in that map pack really can be a game changer for your business, as it greatly increases your chances of getting noticed by your potential customers. When someone sees your business in the local pack, they can easily see your business name, your address, and your phone number, and other key details. And why is that important? Well, it makes it super easy for them to contact you. And let's face it, that's what we want. But how do you get your business to appear in the local pack? It starts with a strong Google business listing. And by optimizing your listing with accurate and complete information, things like photos, customer reviews, and that, even video, can really help improve your chances of appearing in that local pack. So not only going to talk about setting up and optimizing, but also keep in mind that continually optimizing and adding content to your Google business listing is important. So maybe you've had a business listing for years and you've never done anything with it. That's okay. Now is the time to change that. And it's time to start getting those updates made in a regular basis that are consistent to help you get new customers walking in the door. So what's the relationship between local SEO and Google business listings? It's really about how your listing fits into your local SEO strategy. At the end of the day, better that your Google profile is filled out, the more complete it is, the better the information is, the more often that is updated, including posts that you make, that, the better that Google is going to understand your business. And the better that they understand your business, better you're going to do in local search rankings. Think of it like anything else, where Google is really looking when somebody does a search to deliver best possible, most relevant search results to the user typing in that query. And by completing and optimizing your Google business listing, you're going to make sure that Google knows more about you than they do about your competition. And that's going to allow them to make sure that when a customer or prospect that you want to do business with logs in and does a search, that Google's going to be more likely to show your website and your search results higher because they're going to know your business better and know how relevant that is to the people doing the search. So let's talk about how to optimize your Google business listing and stand out from the competition. There's a couple different things we want to talk about: the basics of optimizing, tips for creating a strong profile, the importance of consistent information, and the value of using some visual elements like we talked about. Let's start with the basic. Um, so what the previous section, we talked about the role of Google business listings in your local SEO and how it can impact your search rankings. In this section, we're going to talk about how to optimize your Google business listing to stand out from the competition. Let's cover those basics of your listing. Um, your listing is up to date and that it's consistent with other online listings. So this is one of the things that so many businesses fail, and it's really about the biggest tip for creating a strong profile. You need to make sure that your business information, we call it NAP, your name, address, and phone number, those need to be consistent across every platform. So not only on Google, but on Bing and on all of the other directories that are out there. And there, by the way, are hundreds and hundreds of different directories out there, business directories. And if your information is inconsistent in those, Google will have a hard time understanding whether it's your business or another related business, and it will have a hard time pulling in that web of information business. So what do we mean when we say consistent? First of all, your name. That means when it comes to using your name of your business in your listings, you need to use the exact same name. That means that if you're an LLC, you need to choose, are you going to include LLC at the end of the name or not? If you're incorporated, are you going to include that at the end of your name or not? If you include LLC on some, but not on others, Google may wonder whether or not it's the same company. Also important to make sure that your company name is spelled exactly the same way. Misspellings can be devastating here. Make sure that your business name is spelled properly. The next is your address. You want to make sure that your address is identical across the board. And this is probably the area we see the most difficulty that businesses have, because I'll use my address as an example. I'm at 2922 Fuller Avenue Northeast in Suite 103 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's seems easy enough, right? But I can put I'm at 2922 Fuller and leave off the avenue, or I can write avenue as AVE period or agent AVE, or I can spell it out as avenue, and I can either add the suite 103 or not add the suite 103. And I can spell suite as a STE period or an STE, or I can spell it all out like SUITE. I can use all of those options. And as you start putting these together, you can see how really quickly I could have hundreds of derivations or certainly dozens of derivations on my name and my address. And if Google can't match those up, then it's not sure it's talking about the same business, because somebody at 2922 Fuller Ave might be different than somebody at 2922 Fuller Avenue. And it sounds like it's the same thing, but Google doesn't. Remember, we're using artificial intelligence here, or Google is, to match all those records up, and any inconsistencies can cause problems. But one of the questions I always get on this is, Jonathan, what about tracking phone numbers? I'd really like to use a tracking phone number from my Google business listing to know when I've got a call coming in from that and how effective that's working for me. It's a great question. The phone number is the one possible exception if it's set up properly. So again, you want to use the same phone number across all of your listings. That should be your primary phone number. But if, and this is for Google business listings only, if you want to track the calls that you're getting off your Google business listing because various marketing that you're doing and campaigns that you're running, you can do that by making the primary phone number on your Google business listing the tracking number, and then adding what Google calls a secondary business number. And the secondary number needs to be your main business line, has to be the number that's on everything else. If you do it that way, Google will let you use that tracking number and still keep everything consistent because it can match up the secondary phone number with the same primary phone number it sees on other listings. But don't just use a tracking number alone on your Google listing nor on any other listing, because that will hurt your results and will make that really, really difficult for you. Hope that makes sense on the importance of consistent information and why that matters. Let's talk for just a moment about visual elements. And me going, Jonathan, what do you mean visual elements? I can set up a profile, but what do I do with that profile? Well, one of the great things about Google business listings is that they allow you to post updates to your page on a regular basis. You do it multiple times a day if you want. Those updates could be the most recent blog post that you did for your website. It could be a that you recorded. It could just be an update on your business. It could be almost anything. And Google loves pictures and video. No surprise there. So when you're updating it, consider using visual elements. When you've got a new staff member, take a picture of them, grab your smartphone, take the picture, and post that on your Google business listing. If you're doing something team or you're out at a job site, take photos, take video, and post those things to your Google business listing. That all helps create relevancy for Google. In a moment, we're going to share a bonus tip that also helps you share geolocation based data, meaning in the local service, you can create multiple location points in your service area that Google will see and know, wow, I see the service area you work in because I see you posting updates. And I'll talk about that as our bonus tip here in just a minute. So use those visual elements because those visual elements are critical to your success and making sure that you're getting the feedback and everything that you want. The next step, best practices for creating a compelling and a persuasive business listing description. So we've talked about your name and address and phone number. We've talked about making updates. Those are all super important. But now we need to take a look at the best practices for creating that compelling and persuasive listing. You go, Jonathan, why do I need a persuasive business listing description? Well, if people are finding your business online, your Google business listing is often going to show up on the right hand side of the screen. So if you're at the screen and taking a look, you're going to have your search results. And then to the side, you're typically going to see your Google business listing information. And part of that listing information is going to include the description that you type, this exact description that we're talking about here. We want to make sure that you create a description there that tells customers quickly and succinctly the value that they get from working with you. Plain and simple. How do you make their lives better? Imagine if you would, this is like a Google search result. You see the listing to the website, and then underneath the listing to the website, you see the URL. And underneath that, you see a short description of maybe 50 to 100 words talking about what that web page is about. This is the same thing, but it's about what your business is about. And you've got 30 to 50 words there that'll generally show up in, again, in the website search or in the Google search. Make sure that when people are searching for your business, that description tells them how working with you is going to make their life better. That will make a world of difference in how many people then pick up the phone and call you, come to your business, email you, request a quote, whatever is appropriate, whatever you're encouraging them to do. But don't just skip that. So many people skip the business description, and that can be absolutely devastating. So don't skip it. Take the moment and write something unique and that works. By the way, I'm going to throw in a quick tip here. This is, if you're paying any attention to the news lately, you've probably heard about all of the uproar over Chat GPT and AI tools and things like that. This is a great example of a place that you can use Chat GPT to help you inspire content for your website. You can literally go into Chat GPT. It's a free service, by the way. And Bing now is offering it through their browser as well. You could type in, write a Google business description for my business, describe a couple of key aspects about your business, in particular, how it is that you're going to make your customers' lives better. And then when you do that, take that description. Bing, ChatGPT, other tools that are out there, and there are many, they will create a description for you that you could just copy and paste in, or even better, that you could then edit to make sure it sounds great. But it's a wonderful way to create content quickly and inspire you. If you're not used to writing a Google business description, don't sweat it. Use the tools and then let them help you create that compelling description that you need. All right. So we talked about the importance. Let's talk a little bit about how to differentiate yourself from the competition. So to differentiate, I can't speak today, yourself from the competition, consider what makes your business unique. What sets you apart from the other businesses in your industry? What do they do, or what do you do? I'm sorry, better than anybody else. These are all things that you can share in your Google business listing and will again help set you apart from your competition. It's hugely important. You can also differentiate by focusing on maybe a specific niche or target market. By the way, I don't know if it's niche or niche. I know there's riches in the niches, doesn't work as riches in the niches, but hopefully you know what I mean there. Pick a niche or pick a target market and talk about it. Uh, Maybe again, you're and we talked earlier about an electrician or a plumber or a roofer, and you serve a specific area of your town or your municipality. Talk about that and talk about things happening in that area to let people know that's projects that you want to work on. For example, here, I've made a note that if you're a landscaping company, you could specialize in eco-friendly landscaping practices or cater specifically to high-end residential properties by focusing on certain areas of town. But by differentiating from the competition, you can create a more compelling and persuasive listing description, and all of that will resonate with your customers and cause your phone to ring more. And that's what we want. So, a few additional tips here that we can do. One, responding to reviews. So, building Google reviews is critical. For those of you that saw, I posted that other webinar I was going to do, and this one won. So we're focused on this one. But in a couple weeks, I'm going to do a webinar on building 5-star Google reviews, because believe it or not, there are some simple things that you can do to improve and greatly increase the number of 5-star reviews you have. That's important. Google loves those reviews, especially when they're on Google. So how do you do that? First of all, every time someone leaves you a review, you want to respond to it. You don't have to do it the moment it's left, but within a day or two, get out there and respond to it. If it's a positive review, and I hope most of them are, thank them for that. Let them know how great it was to work with them or work on their project, and share that relevant information. If it was a bad review, and we all get them, it's even more important to leave a response. A couple of tips here. One, give yourself a day to calm down before you do it. Because if you're like me, when somebody leaves you a bad review, there's probably things that you don't agree with in that. And don't pick a fight online. Leaving a response to a negative review is your opportunity to show the rest of the people that see this that you're the reasonable person in this. So don't pick a fight. Let them know that you appreciate their review and their response back, and that hopefully it's true, you'd love to resolve that and encourage them to reach out and contact you personally and let them know how to do that, either by calling your office and asking for you or sending you an email or whatever you can share. Just remember, whatever you share is going to be public. So if you were to put your email address in there, that's going to be available for the world to see. But encourage them to do that. Leave that response. It's your opportunity for someone then to say, okay, somebody had a bad experience. That happens. Almost everybody, by the way, expects it. You're not going to be able to make every person, every customer happy. We try to, but it doesn't always work out. Some customers are just unreasonable. So when that unreasonable customer leaves you a bad review, or maybe you just totally, things got screwed up, respond to it, let them know you want to fix it, and then leave it alone. Do not engage, do not disagree with them, do not argue with them, but do respond. It's important to do that. Also important, as I mentioned, to respond on the positive reviews, letting people know what it is. It's a great opportunity for your prospects to learn more about you and how they can, what, or not how, but what they can expect when they work with you. Another thing is using Google My Business Insights. So when you get your Google business profile set up, in addition to the profile, Google will now provide you with regular insights as to what's happening in your profile. How many people found you through Google search, what they were searching for when they found you, how many people visited your profile, how many people called you from your profile or contacted you from your profile. Use those insights that are going to come to you. They'll most likely be emailed to you. You can also view them through your dashboard, your Google Business Listing dashboard, but use those to figure out how to add the right additional content moving forward. Those insights will tell you the things that you posted that got attention, and maybe you'll see that some things didn't get attention. Use that information to help you do a better job in the future of posting content that's relevant to your audience, because the more relevant that content is, and the more frequent you make those updates, by the way, the more that people will find you and engage with you online. The other part that comes up a lot is managing multiple locations. So if you're a business that has multiple physical locations, then I'm going to have a specific recommendation for you. I want to clarify though, this doesn't mean you service multiple locations. This means you have multiple physical locations. This is a warning to everybody. Google business listings are incredibly powerful, but you don't want to try to pull the wool over Google's eyes, because they are getting to the point, because of all the scammers, that they're assuming most of what we tell them as business owners is suspicious, if not outright false. And so anything you do that raises their ire, for example, posting multiple locations and then having those locations be a post office box or anything like that, or even the local mail store, that used to work, doesn't anymore. And is likely to take all this hard work that you're putting into your Google profile and lose it, because your profile is likely to get just turned off. And by the way, that's worse than not having one, because by not having one, Google will assume some information about you. If you tick them off and they remove your profile, you're gone. You're invisible. It's not worth it. So again, this is about, if you have multiple physical locations, maybe I'm a pizza place and I have multiple pizzerias around the city. Each one of those should have their own Google business listing, so that each one can get its own reviews and each one can have its own information about hours and location and all that. You can still have a parent one, but it's good at each location have its own page. That is not the case if you just want to talk about service area, though. That's a whole nother topic. We can talk about that later. But summarize to say, this is not a time to try to game Google, because it will cause problems for you. If you have multiple service areas that are not in your local area. I just talked about a tree service company, for example, who literally serves the Midwest, even though they're based in Michigan. And they needed to know how to get their Google business listing to pop up in other areas. We can help you do that. It's not easy, it's not guaranteed, but there are some things that we can do to help Google understand what you truly do in the areas you serve. But don't try to game Google. because it won't work and you'll get burned. And that's just bad across the board. So I mentioned earlier, I had a bonus tip for you, and I want to share that bonus tip with you right now. This may be one of the simplest things that you can do to really improve your Google business listing. So you can see on camera here, I'm holding up my phone. We've all got a phone. Just checking what was on my screen. We've all got a phone. Take your phone out and download the Google Business Listing app. It's free. It doesn't cost a thing. Next time you're on a job site, you're out visiting a customer, you're doing something. Remember, we talked about taking pictures and video and all that. Well, don't only do that, but while you're on the job site, log into your Google business account from your phone and post an update about what's happening. Post those pictures while you're at the job site. Post that video while you're at the job site. You go, Jonathan, why do I want to do that? Well, a couple things. One, remember, we want to consistently post new information to our Google profile. I'd recommend at least once a week. Once a day would even be better. Maybe a couple times a week, but at least once a week. If you do this when you're out at a job site, not only are you helping with that because you're posting that new content, but you're also doing something that's almost magical. You're giving Google what's called a geolocation map point. When you log into your Google business app on your phone at that job site, Google is going to query and they're going to know exactly where you are. Well, within 3 feet or so. That means if you are standing at the doorstep to one of your customers, or maybe you're a contractor, you're a resident, you don't have to share the address, but Google's going to have your latitude and longitude of exactly where that service that you're posting about is happening. Maybe you're a cement contractor pouring a foundation and you're take a picture of that hole before you put cement in it and the one afterwards and how those walls look. When you take and share those pictures, Google's going to know exactly where you are, and it's going to create what we call geolocation based data that Google can continue to use to promote your business because they know the areas that you work in. So if you take nothing else from this entire webinar, please download the Google Business Listing app on your phone. And when you're out of job sites, and you can do this multiple times a day if you're moving around job sites, take a couple photos, take a short video, can even be a selfie video of you explaining what you're talking about. Pull your phone out, do that recording, and then share that from the job site to your Google Business Listing. That, again, if you take nothing else, will dramatically increase your results and your search engine results. So a couple of key takeaways. One, I hope you figured out by now you need to have an optimized business listing. It's critically important. You need to make sure that you're taking the actions to make sure that that's a complete business profile too. I know as entrepreneurs, oftentimes we struggle with ADD and distractions and the latest bright shiny object. But this bright shiny object, Google Business Listings, can make you money. So take the time to work through and fill out all of the information they're asking for, and make sure, as we talked about earlier, that all of that information is consistent across the board. Next step for you, I want you to think of one thing that you can do that you've taken out of the webinar today that you can do in the next 24 hours, possibly even yet today. It's not even 5 o'clock. So we're just 30 minutes in, not even 5 o'clock. What can you do yet today on your Google business listing to help you rank better? Can you go in and make sure your name and address and phone number are optimized? Can you download the app and post an update yet today? Think of one thing, and I'd encourage you to do that. Make sure that you're doing that, adding value and taking care of things. So one special offer for joining us on the webinar today. We have in a listing, you can create what are called local service pages on your website. And we have a unique program that we just launched this year to do that. It's working out incredibly well for our clients. We've literally got clients on our program that our hyper local pages are outranking their own website for location based search. You have a local service area and you'd like to make sure that your business is ranking in that local service area, especially when people are typing in like near me searches, plumber near me, electrician near me, reach out and talk to my team. We've got a special buy one, get one free offer. It's a short time offer. I'm going to give you details and find out whether that might help build your business. If you're not interested, that's okay. Ignore my short sales pitch. I'm done. That's all you're going to get from me today. So now it's time for question and answer. Uh, if you side of your screen, you should see a Q&A button. Does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask or that they would like me to answer? Maybe something you missed, or I see you guys joined it a little late. That's certainly fine. Any questions at all that I can answer for you? I'm going to go ahead and give this just a couple minutes while you guys think and get up the gumption and guts to go ahead and leave. And you can, by the way, if you don't want your name shown, can leave a question or post a question anonymously as well. And there we go. JP, thanks for the comment on the GDP app. So just a reminder there, Google Business Profile app, they have one for both Android and iPhone. And logging in from a job site, I don't care what business you're in, will show Google the service area that you work in. So huge. Marilyn asks, what does the Google Business app look like? So let me see if I can find it on my phone here real quick. Um, but let's see here a minute. I'm pretty sure I've got it. Uh, doesn't look like I have it downloaded. I just got a new phone, and it's amazing how many things you forget to download. So let's take a look here a minute. Google Business Profile. There we go. Google has a gazillion different apps if you're not familiar with that. The one that you want that's going to do what you want is actually just your basic Google app. Going to look like, let me get this on the screen. It's going to look like this. And then once you log in, up in the corner up here, you're going to have the opportunity to log in. And when you do that, you'll have the opportunity to see your Google business listings from there and be able to make updates and post updates directly in. You can't find the app on Apple. So Chris, you want to look for the Google. It's just got a large G as an icon. Let me see if I can find it here for you. So again, I'll hold up my phone. I know it's not the best on the camera, but it is the icon that you guys should see, I believe, on the right side of your screen. It just says Google. And that will give you what you need there. So that should get you what you need. Um, JP, good question. Any recommendation on how long a GMB post should be? That's a great question. Um, it really depends on how much you want, but I want to encourage you that your post can be short, literally be, again, let's use the opportunity as a, I could literally be on somebody's faucet under their kitchen sink and post an update that, fixed a clogged sink today. And now the family can be that simple. It could also be much more lengthy and could have, a few hundred characters in it describing what you're doing, talking about the service, and maybe sharing a question that the homeowner asked you on that particular job site or that your customer asked you. If you're at a retail location, it could be checking in from your store when somebody comes in and asks you a great question that you want to share. We all get asked lots of questions. And remember that sometimes the best content for us to create are those questions that we find ourselves answering on a repeated basis for our customers. So when a customer comes into your store or is calling you or asking you the same question over and over, it's a great indicator to you. That'd be a great type of content to create. I personally would love to encourage you to take a short video, hold your phone up and press record and say, hey, I get asked all the time in my pizza parlor, what the most unique pizza I've ever had ordered, and answer that question, or what's the most popular topping. Answer that question and then post that video. That video could be 30 seconds. Post that video on up to your Google business listing. It can be really powerful to do that. But more important is frequency. Posting content, again, at least once a week, preferably a couple times a week, will be even more important. The other thing, and this can really help you out, if you're doing blogging, creating regular daily videos, if you're into the YouTube video, anything along those lines, or if you've got social media posts that are going up, those can all be shared as updates on your Google business listing. And all of them help keep that listing active and relevant. And that's important. Again, the real huge benefit of using your phone to do it is you're adding then what we call geolocation based data. So as you're leaving that, Google's going to go, oh, I can see JP, here's where you're at in Florida. Or it can be looking, going, Maryland, I can see that here's where you're at in Michigan. And it's going to add that information to that post. And it's going to then bring that geolocation based data in as something relevant to what you're doing and relevant to your customers. And that means, Maryland, if you've got somebody searching for a realtor, Grand Rapids area where I know you work in Michigan, and you've posted a lot of content. Maybe it was showing a home to somebody. Maybe it's a new listing you got. Maybe it's some videos that you've taken talking from your office, talking about common questions and things like that. When somebody nearby you does a search for best realtor or best realtor near me or anything like that, you're going to be more likely to show up because Google's going to not only see your data, but they're going to see that location data. And if you're close, again, most other realtors are not going to do that. You're going to have more data than that Google can use to show your profile in the map pack and in the top of the search results. So hopefully that answers your questions. Great questions by everybody. If you run into any, I think you guys all reach out any questions. You should have the ability to text me through the text that you got for this webinar. You can also reach out to my team. We're all here to help you and answer any questions that you may have. Before we go, we've got just a couple minutes. I'm going to hang on tight for probably about 2 minutes, maybe three, longer if you've got questions. But if you do have any, go ahead. Marilyn, thank you for the comment. I appreciate that. It's always good to know that these add some value. So thank you. Thank you all for investing your time. I know you're all busy. You've all got a lot going on. I really appreciate this. And let me just put a little plug in. Watch out for the Google review seminar. We're going to do that next. I'm probably going to do that in about 2 weeks. And we're going to teach you how to get more 5-star reviews. Imagine if I could show you how this week, it's Tuesday, you could have 5 to 10 more 5-star reviews. That's what I'm going to show you how to do. And I'm going to show you how to do that almost every week. So thanks again for your time, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.